Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bites of Italy. I'm Natalie, your go-to host for culinary adventures across Italy.
And I'm Scotty, the guy who always shows up hungry and ready to explore the hidden food gems.
If you've been following along, you know that for the last 6 episodes, we've been delving into Florence's culinary scene.
But today, we're switching things up and heading south to Rome, the eternal city and home to some of the best street food and traditional cuisine Italy has to offer.
When you go to Rome, you want to eat like a Roman, right?
That's right.
Well, you've come to the right place, dear listener. Today we head straight to the heart of Rome and kick off our Roman adventure by uncovering delicious, authentic restaurants that go beyond the typical tourist traps.
Yeah. And when it comes to Roman classics, we love places like Armando al Pantheon. Yes, it's right next to the main tourist center, but the Gargioli family has done an amazing job preserving the memory of the founder Armando while serving up incredible food.
The only problem is that this restaurant is super popular. Their online reservations open a month in advance and sell out fast.
And you know us. We're always on the hunt for less obvious choices, those hidden gems that locals love.
Exactly. Today we're sharing some incredible spots in the center of Rome that you might not have heard of yet.
First up, we're heading to Hosteria Grappolo d'Oro.
Oh, I love that place. Now, before we jump into that, can we just clear something up?
Sure.
In the first episode of our podcast, when we were in Florence, we explained the differences between Osteria and Trattoria. But what is a Hosteria?
Yeah, it can be confusing. A Hosteria, it's just an osteria with an ancient spelling. The old-style name is generally used to underline that this place is really old, traditional. Nowadays, Hosteria, Osteria, and Trattoria can be used interchangeably.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, tell us more about Grappolo d'Oro.
Imagine you've just finished exploring Piazza Navona. You're maybe a little tired of the crowds and you kind of duck into this little side street, between Piazza Navona and Campo dei Fiori.
And suddenly you're in this cozy, bright space.
That feels worlds away from all the hustle and bustle.
That sounds lovely.
That's Grappolo d'Oro.
I'm picturing a bright dining room with some big windows.
Exactly, letting in that Roman sunshine.
Beautiful.
Or you might find yourself in a smaller room with a charming wooden beam ceiling.
That's nice.
It's the kind of place that draws in locals who know good food.
That's what we're looking for.
And you might spot a savvy traveler or two.
All right, let's talk about food. What are they serving up at this hidden gem?
Well, they have this incredible tasting menu called the Roman Journey.
The Roman Journey? I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it features a selection of iconic Roman dishes.
Which basically took us on a culinary tour of Rome's greatest hits. We had to try it.
Of course.
Of course we did. Among tris of traditional starters, I love the amazing fried meatballs. The best I've ever had.
Oh, those Roman meatballs.
They were so unique, made with boiled meat. They were incredibly soft on the inside, but then fried to this crispy perfection on the outside.
I remember they were served with bright green salsa verde, the green sauce.
Oh yeah, that's salsa verde. I could eat that on everything. Parsley, capers, anchovies, a touch of vinegar. It just added this amazing tangy herbaceous punch.
Yeah, it really cut through the richness of the meatballs. Perfect balance.
Exactly.
Then we had vegetarian pasta Cacio e Pepe.
The classic.
I mean, you can't go to Rome without having Cacio e Pepe.
Absolutely not.
And it's such a simple dish. Pasta, pecorino romano cheese, and black pepper.
Yeah, pecorino romano is a key ingredient in Roman cuisine. That hard, salty sheep's milk cheese, it's in everything and had so much depth of flavor.
Sometimes the simplest things are the most delicious, right? But I bet there's a real art to getting Cacio e Pepe just right.
Absolutely. And Grappolo d'Oro nails it.
It was perfect. Pecorino romano cheese had such a sharp, salty flavor.
And that peppery bite, when those two ingredients come together, it's pure magic.
Yeah. Next, they brought out this amazing Roman-style oven-roasted lamb.
The lamb, so tender and flavorful. Cooked with garlic, rosemary, white wine, pepper, and broth, this dish reflects the city's love of strong flavors.
And did you know it's perhaps the most iconic main course for Easter dinner in the Eternal City?
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
It's like a taste of Roman history. Just made me want to be a part of that whole Easter tradition in Rome,
Yeah, and to finish off this epic Roman feast, they had an array of homemade desserts that leave you wanting more.
Yeah, even though we were stuffed, we had to try the Maritozzi, Rome's most iconic pastry.
The fluffy buns filled with mountains of whipped cream.
And to top it all off, they had an impressive wine selection.
I was actually very impressed. They were really focused on natural and organic wines.
Yeah, which was a really nice touch.
And they had excellent house wine options. Their vino di casa was fantastic. It paired so well with all the dishes.
It did. And if the tasting menu isn't your thing, they also offer an a la carte menu.
Yeah. I remember they also had daily specials written on a blackboard based on what was fresh at the market.
Yeah, fresh seasonal ingredients are always a plus.
So there is always something new to discover.
Yeah, Grappolo d'Oro is officially at the top of my Roman food itinerary.
Mine too, but I'm always up for exploring more where to next.
Let's head towards Campo de Fiori. There you will find a place called Trattoria da Cesare al Pellegrino. This place had a totally different vibe.
Oh yeah, I'm getting serious old school vibes already.
It felt like stepping into your Italian grandmother's kitchen. Like, warm and cozy and inviting.
Exactly. It felt like a place where locals have been gathering for generations, just to enjoy a good meal and each other's company.
Yeah, there is even a cool story behind this place, right?
There is. It's actually inspired by this legendary trattoria called da Settimio. It was a beloved Roman institution for like over 90 years.
Wow.
But sadly, it closed its doors. And Trattoria Cesare al Pellegrino has taken on the legacy with pride and respect. And they're passionate about keeping that da Settimio legacy alive.
How so?
They have preserved the simple classic furnishings, and even kept some of da Settimio's signature dishes on the menu, like the meatballs.
Using the same recipe that made da Settimio so famous. That's awesome, like carrying on the culinary torch.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about honoring tradition.
It's amazing.
So, stepping into this restaurant is like taking a step back in time.
Oh, totally. They also had this knack for making you feel like you were part of the family, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, that's the beauty of these smaller local spots. They have so much heart and soul.
Absolutely. It's got that warm, familiar feeling just like a traditional osteria should, and generous portions of authentic Roman cuisine. It's just the way it's supposed to be.
I'm all about generous portions. Spill the beans. What is a must-eat there?
Well, for a starter, amazing vegetarian eggplant croquettes in Arrabbiata sauce.
I love Arrabbiata sauce. It's a Roman classic. Arrabbiata actually means angry in Italian. It gets its name from the fiery kick of the chili pepper.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's got that perfect balance of sweet tomato flavor and spicy heat.
It's addictive. And the eggplant croquettes were so creamy on the inside, and they had this nice, crispy coating.
Yeah, and for a taste of history, Teresa's famous meatballs. A tribute to the former chef of da Settimio, Teresa. I love those. Grilled, not fried.
Yeah, gave them a nice smoky flavor. It was a simple dish, but it was just packed with flavor like the ones Teresa used to make. Taste the history in every bite.
Exactly. It's so cool that they honor the history of da Settimio like that.
I know. What I love about this place is its sense of history and tradition, and that they're not afraid to embrace some of Rome's more adventurous culinary traditions like Quinto Quarto.
Quinto Quarto literally means fifth quarter, and it refers to the less common cuts of meat like offal, tripe, or oxtail, the things that some people might shy away from.
Yeah, we talked about it in the third episode of our podcast from Florence. It might sound unusual, but it's a deep-rooted tradition also in Roman cuisine.
And it comes from a time when, meat was scarce and people had to be resourceful. They used every part of the animal, and that ingenuity led to some truly unique and delicious dishes.
What Quinto Quarto dish do you recommend at Cesare al Pellegrino?
Well, you can't leave without trying the Trippa alla Romana. It's tripe cooked in this rich tomato sauce.
Oh yeah, the tripe. You know what? After our visit to Florence, I was not surprised how tender and delicious it was. And the tomato sauce was so good. It really made the dish special.
Exactly. It wasn't chewy or tough like some people might think. It was perfectly cooked.
How about Coda alla Vaccinara, the iconic dish of Rome? Slow-cooked oxtail, stewed in tomato sauce, herbs and aromatic vegetables.
Oh, that oxtail stew was incredible. I mean, the meat was falling off the bone, and the sauce was so rich and flavorful.
What does alla Vaccinara mean anyway?
It means butcher style. The recipe originally comes from the heart of Rome, from the Regola district, where butchers called Vaccinari lived many years ago. They would use, simple ingredients and those slow cooking methods to transform tougher cuts of meat into something truly delicious.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And of course, no Roman meal would be complete without some wine.
Oh, of course not. And they had a really nice selection there, too.
Yeah, carefully curated.
Yeah. Bottles that were chosen to complement those bold flavors of the dishes.
Definitely.
Okay, so 2 down, 1 to go. Are you ready for our last stop?
Let's do it. Where to next?
Picture this. You're in the heart of Rome, surrounded by the buzz of the city, but then you step into this tranquil square near Campo de Fiori.
Oh, I like the sound of that. I'm already picturing a hidden gem tucked away from the crowds.
And there it is, the charming Osteria la Quercia welcoming you with open arms.
Osteria la Quercia. That sounds lovely. I'm getting a sense of calm amidst the chaos.
It's really special.
What about the atmosphere inside?
Well, they have both indoor and outdoor seating.
Sounds perfect. I'm all about options.
Me too.
But let's be real, we're here for the food.
Always.
What's cooking at Osteria la Quercia?
Their menu is all about tradition with a modern twist.
I like that.
They're committed to using high-quality, locally sourced ingredients, and they even go the extra mile by indicating where their ingredients come from.
Oh, wow. So you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
What dishes draw your attention on this menu?
You have to start with their artichoke. They offer both Jewish style and Roman style, which is a great way to experience different culinary traditions.
Yeah, Jewish style, which is fried to crispy perfection, and Roman style, which is slow-cooked gently in a mixture of white wine, olive oil, garlic, and herbs, so they're buttery and tender.
Exactly. And what's for the first course?
I recommend the fettuccine con la coda. Pasta with oxtail. It's hearty, flavorful, and so Roman.
Okay, I've noticed oxtail is a popular ingredient in Roman cuisine.
It is. And for the main course, the roast veal alla fornara.
That sounds good, but why that name?
Fornara means baker. The story is ancient and romantic, and its protagonists are the baker's daughter and Raphael, a famous Italian painter.
Wait, this dish has a connection to Raphael? Okay, this sounds like a good story. We need to know more.
Back in the day, people didn't have ovens in their homes. They would take their meat to the baker to be cooked.
Makes sense. So this dish is a nod to that tradition.
Yeah, and apparently, Raphael fell madly in love with the baker's daughter. And he even put her in one of his most famous paintings, La Fornarina, which can be seen in the National Gallery of Ancient Art in Rome.
I love how food can connect us to history and art like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and the dish, vitello alla fornara, is said to be a tribute to their love story.
Wow.
And Osteria la Quercia still cooks it the traditional way, roasting it to perfection.
Okay, this dish is definitely going on the list. What else is on the menu?
They also have a fantastic fish selection, a limited but intriguing dessert menu, and a comprehensive wine list featuring some well-known labels.
Good to know. All right, we've got 3 amazing restaurants lined up.
Yes, Hosteria Grappolo d'Oro with well-executed traditional cuisine and authentic atmosphere.
And Trattoria da Cesare al Pellegrino, an oasis of traditional cooking with a warm and familiar atmosphere.
And Osteria la Quercia, a perfect blend of tradition and modern flair.
Keep in mind that these are traditional restaurants, so they stick to traditional opening hours. You know, open for lunch from noon to 3 in the afternoon, and then for dinner from 7 p.m. onwards.
Good point. Just plan accordingly.
Yeah. And what really impressed me about these 3 restaurants is their dedication to preserving those traditional Roman flavors.
It's really amazing when you think about it. You know, like food is more than just sustenance.
Totally. It's a way to connect with a culture on a whole other level, like a deeper level.
I think so too. It's like every bite has a story to tell. And in Rome, those stories are full of history and tradition.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier. That Jewish-style artichoke, right? It's a simple dish, but it really speaks volumes about the Jewish community's presence in Rome and how they've contributed to the city's culinary landscape.
Right. And like that Quinto Quarto tradition, you know, using those less common cuts of meat.
Yeah, it shows how resourceful Roman cuisine is, right? Like they really make the most of everything.
Absolutely. It makes you appreciate the thought and care that goes into each dish.
And it's not just the ingredients or the cooking techniques, it's about the people.
Yes, the generations who have passed down these recipes and kept the traditions alive.
Exactly. When you eat at those local restaurants, you're not just having a meal. You're experiencing a piece of their history.
It's like you become part of something bigger than yourself.
And it makes you realize that food is such a powerful way to understand and appreciate different cultures.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that's a wonderful way to wrap up our little Roman food adventure.
I think so too.
We've explored those hidden gems, tasted some incredible food.
Yeah, uncovered the stories behind the dishes.
Exactly, and hopefully inspired our listeners to go on their own culinary adventures.
I hope so.
So, next time you're in Rome, be sure to check out these amazing restaurants. And remember to be curious, be adventurous, and, most importantly, be open to those stories that food has to tell.
Yeah, because every bite is like a little journey.
A chance to connect with a culture.
And create some lasting memories.
Well said. And before we go, don't forget to subscribe to Bites of Italy.
We've got plenty more food adventures lined up for you, so make sure you don't miss out.
Next week, we're diving into one of Rome's quintessential street foods, the deep-fried rice balls known as Supplì.
Trust us, you won't want to miss that one.
Thanks for listening, and see you next time.
Happy eating, everyone. Ciao.